If I got you, you got me. It don't matter what they say. They just wish that they could be the one.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, as you guys can see from the title, I'm going to tell you guys my little story time of when I found out I was pregnant at 17. I tried to film as early as I could this morning because I need to get 2 videos out today because I've been trying to post all week and I've been doing good until yesterday. There may be a little bit of background noise because my mom is listening to music and my little cousin is playing with toys, so sorry about that. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I use my backdrop again, so if you guys think I should start using backdrops for like story times or something like that, because I normally do my makeup in front of like my little vanity area, but I kind of like my backdrop here. But yeah, let me just go ahead and get right into the story. Basically, how I found out that I was pregnant at 17, I had just recently graduated from school, and I was I caught up with one of my old friends from when I was in school. She was actually a year ahead of me in school, so we caught up or whatever, and I went to her house because she lived like some blocks over. So I walked to her house or whatever, or I might have got dropped off. Can't really remember. Before that, I do want to tell you guys, before I continue with the story, before that my mom was kind of telling me like, you're gaining a little bit of weight and things like that. But I mean, at this time I was doing what I always do, and that's eating. So I was like, well, I mean, I have been eating. We eat good in here, so like, yeah. And then before that, I also was like really stressed with school. So I remember, I think, missing my period once. My mom was like, oh, that's normal because you're stressed out about school, things like that. Stress can like throw your periods off. So I was like, okay, cool. So I didn't really think about it too much after that. I was just like, I'm just like so stressed. We're trying to like graduate and everything like that. So back to the story. So I went to my friend's house. Like I said, I either walked or I got dropped off, and I hadn't seen her in a while. She was like, oh my god, hey, blah blah blah. Her and one of her cousins was like, are you pregnant? And I was like, no. And they were like, oh, well, you kind of look it. Have you took a test? And all this stuff. I'm like, no, like I haven't took a test or anything. I don't feel pregnant. I'm not pregnant, you guys. Like, I'm not pregnant. My friend was like, oh, well, we can go buy you a pregnancy test if you want, and things like that, I think. And I was just like, no, I'm okay. Like, I'm not pregnant. So we just dropped the whole subject. We finished hanging out, catching up, things like that. And then I came home. My cousin had dropped me off, and I came in the house, and my mom, you know, we say hi and whatever. And she was like, oh, what did they say? And I'm like, what do you mean, what did they say? And she was telling me like, oh, well, what did they say? I guess she was like, I can't really remember the story clearly, but I'm just going to tell you guys what I kind of remember. But she was like, you know, what did they say about you gaining a little weight? And I was like, oh, well, they kind of said, you know, they asked me if I was pregnant, and I told them no. And she was like, basically she wanted to go to the store and buy a pregnancy test. So I was like, okay. So we went to Dollar General, and we got like one of the dollar pregnancy tests, because like, who wants to spend a lot of money on a pregnancy test is gonna do the same thing. Made it so bad, like they don't have it like where you can go in the store and like pick it out. You had to like go to the counter like, oh, can I get a pregnancy test? So yeah, it was pretty awkward, but we went to the store, we got the pregnancy test, we came home. So I went to go take it or whatever. I was like super nervous, you know, because I really didn't think of the possibility like, oh, you could be pregnant, like, because I had so many things going on, like I said, as far as school and stuff. And then I also did have to take like a like this summer program to also pass, you know, to graduate. So it was like so much going on. I wasn't thinking like, oh, I could be pregnant or whatever. But I took the pregnancy test or whatever. I came out, my mom was like, what did they say? And I was like, well, I have to wait or whatever for some time, and then it'll tell me. So we waited, and I looked at it, and I was like, and my mom like, oh, you know, sugar honey iced tea, honey. I was scared to tell her that I was pregnant because I saw it, and I was like, oh my god. So she was like, you know, so eventually she asked me again, like, oh, what did it say? So I went to the bathroom. Well, of course, I had already, you know, I saw it. I was already in the bathroom. She was like, what did it say? So I took it to her, and I was like, here you go, you know, and she was pretty upset. I'm not gonna lie. My mom was extremely upset because I did have plans to go to college and things like that. So she was like super upset, and she was like, my mom kind of told me like, oh, well, we need to figure out what you're gonna do. My mom was like in a really angry stage, which is that's very understandable. I mean, I was only 17. I did graduate, everything like that, but it's just, you know, I had my whole life ahead of me. So she was like, you know, need to figure out what you're gonna do. We ended up calling like this place, like this building that you can go to. It was called the Blue Ridge Pregnancy Center, and basically you can go there. They will give you a pregnancy test, and they will let you know if you are, because I mean, of course, you want to follow up behind that type of like pregnancy test. So we did that. We went to the place. I had told my boyfriend at the time, like, oh, I took a pregnancy test. I said, I'm pregnant. I'm going to be going to this place. Are you coming or not? And of course, he was a very supportive boyfriend at the time. So of course he came or whatever. He actually came by himself. Like his parents had dropped him off. And he came and sat there with me through a very awkward sit and wait for the people to call me. But when they called me, they called us both back. Talking to a man and I was talking to a woman. So they did take us in 2 separate rooms. They did have me take another pregnancy test. And then they came in the room with me and they was like, oh, well, yeah, you are pregnant. Talk to me like, oh, do you know what you want to do? Do you want to have it? You know, things like that. And they were saying like, oh, well, if you get they told you like how they did, like the people did procedures to like, not at that building, but they told you like, if you get an abortion, well, this is how they're going to do it and all this type of stuff. And in my mind, I never really had a doubt that I didn't want to have my son. Yes, I was kind of devastated and disappointed within myself because, like I said, I was going to college and, yeah. So, of course, I was very down, very sad, and kind of depressed, figuring out what I wanted to do. But, of course, there was, like, no doubt in my mind that I wanted to keep him. I want to say that same day or... I can't remember, but I want to say that they did like the little ultrasound type of thing on me, and I want to say this was the same day. I'm not exactly sure because this place I think they did like in the back. After they finished talking to me and my boyfriend at the time, they brought us both out and I think they took us into like this exam type of room, and I think they had did like the ultrasound to like see how far I was and things like that. And pretty much at that time, you guys, you will not believe that I was 6 months pregnant, and I did not look it at all. Like I could tell that I was getting big, but I just thought me gaining weight because it wasn't like a big old belly. And I was just like, I don't see it. Like, how am I this far along? Like, how did I not know? Like, I really didn't tell any difference within my body or anything like that. I mean, yes, I missed periods, but of course I didn't think anything of it because, like I said, I was super stressed. So I mean, a lot of people probably like, oh, like you knew you were pregnant, or how you not know you was pregnant. Okay, like literally, you guys, I mean, I could have had symptoms and I just didn't know what they were, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I didn't think that I was. And so yeah, I think they said that I was 6 months or whatever, so I was pretty far along already. And of course at that time I was just like, I'm definitely not having an abortion at 6 months. Like, he's pretty much fully developed almost, and like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And yeah, I mean, yes, I had my ups and down days where, you know, I was sad, I was crying myself to sleep, things like that. But my mom eventually came around, and my mom did absolute everything for me. Like, any cravings that I had, she, like, when I was pregnant with my son, I absolutely loved ices from Sheetz. So she would take me almost literally every single day to go get ices. She made sure I got up and ate breakfast, ate fruit, you know, take my prenatals, everything. My mom was on it. Like, yes, my mom went through like the angry stage to becoming like to the stage where she was like coping with the situation. And I'm just, you know, happy and thankful that my mom got me through it all, because I mean, like I said, I used to cry myself to sleep. I had very, you know, up and down days. But of course, everything my boyfriend at the time, he was there for. Eventually I did go to a regular like doctor and things like that, and they told me like I was 6 weeks, and you know, they gave me my prenatals like I was supposed to have and everything like that. 6 weeks, I meant 6 months. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how I found out, you guys. Basically, you know, a friend brought it to my attention and my mom's attention, pretty much, kind of like that, and that's how I found out. It was very shocking and very scary, very, I don't know, but y'all, that's pretty much how I found out that I was pregnant at 17. If you guys like this video and would like me to do more story times, if I have some interesting stories, I will tell you guys. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.